sit on your chair like this. You don't have to turn to your side unless you want to. I'm just turned to the side so you can see me. Okay. So in all my classes this week, we've been exploring how to, some seated poses. And today we're going to work on some twists, eventually, maybe, right? So sit on your chair and feel your buttock bones on the chair. You want to feel them. And then you can, sort out if you're on the front of the buttock bone or the back. Right? The front of the buttock bone, you can lean a little forward. That's more on the front, right? You slide back, tuck under a little bit. That's the back side. So see if you can sit right up on the buttock bones and maybe a little forward. A little forward on the buttock bone. And then press your feet and raise your chest up real tall. So the hips have to stay down. Feel your buttock bones on the chair. All right, now straighten one leg and make your thigh tight. Contract your thigh, but keep your leg down on the chair so there's no gripping in your thigh. Press down your thigh onto the chair. And then from that pressing down of the thigh, raise up and feel your buttock bones on the chair. All right, now switch and do the other leg and contract your thigh. Raise up your chest. Right, so feel the buttock bones on the chair. Right, that same spot, a little forward on the buttock bones. And from the pressing of your thigh, raise up your chest nice and tall. And take a big inhalation. All right, and now just come forward over your legs and release your head down. You can bend down. Are you gonna do it with us, Kelly? All right, and then come up and stand in front of your chair. Bend forward and put your hands down on the chair seat. Spread your toes and press down with your feet so that the thighs contract in the same way that they just were pressing the thigh down on the chair. And so the back of the leg feels open. Now take a breath in and lengthen the breastbone forward. And as you exhale, take your head down, release your head down. If it goes on the chair, fine. Right, rest your head down. Right. Contract the thighs up. Lift up your knees and thighs. Rest your head down. All right, now straighten your arms and come back up. So one thing, watch me. Right, so I'm gonna go backwards with my hips a little. Right, so the hips are back away from the chair, and I feel lighter with my hands on the chair, really light. Right, so not to lean on the hands at all. And then when I bend my elbows, don't put the weight on the hands. Just keep the head down and lean backwards with the weight of the hips. Right? So come forward with your hands on the chair with straight arms. Right? Straighten your elbows. Right? Head up. Right? So concave position here. Right? Look at me. Come back up. Some people are down, Jenny. Right? Feet hip width. Lean backwards with the weight of your hips. Right? Lean backwards so there's hardly any weight on your hands. Right? Hardly any weight. You just feel the weight of your skin, of the fingerprint on the chair. Now be light on your hands. Go forward. Take your head down. Don't lean on the hands. Don't lean on your head either. Take the weight of the hips backwards. Okay, then stand back up. Let me just say that I love you all. Yeah, I do. And You're not doing what I'm asking. Just listen. Okay. So something I've been thinking about and I was sharing with students this morning is that I'm starting to think that there's no such thing anymore as advanced poses. That's gone completely. Instead, there's advanced studentship, like being advanced with this, your approach to doing yoga. So you have to watch me again. This is this is what, just Uttanasana. You're like, big deal, who cares? We do this all the time, right? But just try to be more sensitive with the Uttanasana. So my hands are down, not very heavy, okay? Real light. Lean the hips back. That's the part that was missing. Hips back, go down. Okay? Still light on the hands. So I'm trying to keep the weight backwards this way, but go forward with the gravity of the trunk. Okay? So arms down on the chair with your feet hip width. Lift up your thighs. I mean, that we know, right? That you know, or maybe you don't know, and this is a reminder. Right? Lift up your thighs, and now take your hips further back of your heels. Right? Lean back and be light on your hands. And then bend your arms and go down. Don't get heavy on your arms. Don't get heavy on your head. Lean your hips behind your heels. Lift up your knees and thighs. And then use the weight, just allow the weight of the trunk to go down. And the hips leaning back to help raise the thighs up and tuck them in. Take a big inhalation and deep exhalation. Big inhalation and deep exhalation. Try the same thing with your legs wider. Right? Come up and make your legs wider, more like Prasarita Padottanasana. Right? Legs apart, 3 or 4 feet. Right? So hands down, under the shoulders or about that, but not heavy on the hands. Right? So really light and gentle. Right? Lean backwards with your hips, but bend your elbows and let the trunk go forward. So be gentle going forward onto the chair. So maybe the skull, the weight of the skull is down, but you're not leaning the body weight onto the head. Keep the knees and thighs up, pressing backwards so that the thighs go back, hips go back. And the sense of direction is that the trunk goes forward and the spine comes in. Let gravity be in the trunk. Exhale. Exhale, completely surrender. Right, then straighten your arms. Again, be light on your fingertips, just real light. So lift up your waist, lift up your abdomen, hardly touching the chair with your hands. Right, strong on the legs. Right, and then stand back up and put your hips down on the chair again. So we're back this way with the hips on the chair. You feel the buttock bones. In some instruction in the seated poses to pull backwards with the buttock bone. Right? So from the thigh, right? So from my skeleton bone here, right? my yellow skeleton bone, pull back all the way. And so it's that direction. But I want to put a little break on that. So it's not overdone, right? Overdone, like not too much forward. Right? So pull backwards with the buttock bone and sit up on the front edge of the buttock bone and try and make them more even. Right? Just look forward. You don't have to even look at me, right? If your screen is to the side, just look away from it. Press your feet, rotate your shoulders back, and be on the front edge of the buttock bones, and with a big breath in, lift your chest. Right? A big inhalation. And so on the front edge of the buttock bones, raise your breastbone up really tall. Right, now try with the legs straightened. Okay, so straighten one leg and then the other. Tighten your knees. So make your legs really work. And then can you still feel the buttock bones on the chair? What are you going to do to adjust with your hands so that the buttock, or with the arms, so you feel the weight of the buttock bones on the chair? Contract your thighs. Right? Be really strong with your thighs. Don't lean back on your chair, but take your back ribs in and raise your chest up. You lift up your chest. Right, and then bend your legs and put your feet down. Okay, and then stand up again. So we're going to go back to Prasarita Padottanasana. Watch me. Right, so from it's true, the back of the legs lift up and the buttocks go up. I have to put a little break on that so that simultaneously you can think about the buttock bone is lifting up and coming down at the same time. It can't be too much one way or the other, though. You have to see which way, how much. Do you have to take them down or lift them up? So make that adjustment while being light with your fingertips at first. Right, light on the chair. Separate your feet, hip width. Raise the back of the buttocks up, right? So press backwards with your front thighs. Push your knees back and be light on the chair, right? With your hands. And then how much do the buttock bones lift, right? You have to lift them up a lot and then draw them down. And then somewhere in between overlifting and over drawing down. Bend your elbows and take your body down. See if there's an adjustment to the pelvis here. If you want to go down further, just move the chair out of the way and hold your ankles and take your head down. You can still keep going with the chair. There's an option to just keep going with the chair. But we want to try to stay backwards with the weight of the hips. The weight of the hips goes back, trunk goes forward. So sense of direction is from the pelvis to the head. Be still and take a bigger inhalation and exhalation. A bigger inhalation and exhalation. And then straighten your arms and come up. Raise up. So this idea about how much weight to put on something, I think is really fascinating. If you're not fascinated by that yet, maybe you can get fascinated by it because it's endlessly interesting to me anyway. You know, like this, if I just watch how, if I touch the floor, right, just have a really light touch. But at the same time, as I touch lightly with my hands down, let me back up just a little bit. As I touch lightly with my hands down, I can pull the arms, right? I can pull the arms away from gravity, upward into my shoulder. This sort of motion. And it doesn't feel very heavy. And I can fine tune how much that is. I don't have to push so hard on the floor to do it. Right? Shoulders up and backwards, and decide, right, how much the back should come in, how much the buttocks lift. And this same sort of gentle, right, gentle approach, where if I bend my elbows, right, bend the elbows, right, you don't have to really crank on the legs. You just bend them and let gravity do it. Do it as in release down. Like let gravity help you. You don't have to fight yourself. Let's not fight. Okay. So let's do this. You can touch the chair the same way. right? If you found the chair to be very helpful, right? If you found that to be helpful, you just use the chair. You can use blocks under your hands or touch the floor. Right? Start with that, either hands on the chair, hands on the block, or hands on the floor. Go down with your fingertips to the floor. So the arms are long. They're like hanging down out of the shoulder. Right? Just touch lightly with your fingertips so that the weight of the pose is backwards on the legs. And then as you touch lightly with the fingertips, take your arms into your shoulders and take a breath in to take the breastbone forward. Either keep your hands where they are at their spot, or take your hands to your legs. Bend your elbows, either way, bend your elbows. And you don't, be gentle with the bending of the arms. So if you have your hands on your legs, don't overdo. Let the weight of the trunk go down. So you don't have to keep yanking, pulling, overdoing. Exhale completely. Just exhale and let the side body be longer. Just let it go. Through your nose, take a full breath in. Full, quiet, soft breath out. Okay, and then stretch your chest forward and come up. So that's one example of like, how can I be light? How can I be light here? And then if I have, I'm gonna tip this back down. I'm gonna use this to put my head on, right? My head goes down on my prop and I be gentle with the pulling of the arms so that the trunk can really release. Right? The back thighs lift up, the buttock bones lift up. And then at first, right, I'm gonna tilt back this way, away from the head. So the head is just really barely touching. Like the head and the scalp. Can you see me? Where am I on the screen? Okay. So the head is down, the scalp is touching, and then I can decide, oh, I'm gonna lean a little more, and then a little more, maybe a little more. Right? And how is that coming forward, changing the feeling in the abdomen, the adjustment in the pelvis? And you can back up if you're like, well, that's not good for my neck. Okay, just back up. No problem. Okay, so first, if you don't know, well, today, how much height under the head, you have to get that set up first and give a trial run and see. You could use a blanket, you could go back to your chair, you could use a block, a bolster, just something. See if you can get your head down on it with straight legs. Right, with straight legs. And then once you have your prop decided, come back to your concave extension with the arms under the shoulders. And remind yourself about this lightness, right? Be light with the fingertips, really heavy with the legs, with the thighs. Heavy as in strong, right? Earthy, push back. Make any adjustments to the pelvis, buttock bones up or down. How much? What percentage? And then take your hands to your legs and bend your elbows, but gently. Right? Don't be over forceful. Allow the trunk to go down so that the head rests, but it's hardly heavy. Lean your hips back. Maybe that will help to lighten the load on the head. Lean backwards with your hips. Lift up your knees and thighs. So at first you have just minimal pressure on the skull. Minimal pressure. And then from the hips, go more towards the head. Keeping the thighs pressing back, you take a little more weight onto the head. And you can decide how much weight goes on the head. And when the head takes the weight, Is the abdomen, what's the effect on the abdomen? What's the effect on the pelvis? Do you need to back up? Right, take the hips back so you can make any more adjustments to the buttock bones. Right? Are they lifting up or lifting or coming down? How much? What percentage? Be still for a few more breaths. Right? Big inhalation and exhalation. Relax your face and your throat. Okay, and then raise your chest up. And again, be light on your fingertips. Right, light on your fingertips. And then come up. Stand up. For my dog pose, I changed the blanket so that it's a little taller and made it more narrow, like this. I'm going to demonstrate the dog pose, and you can also go back to the chair. Like I think some people it might be better for them to go back to the chair. But after my demonstration, you'll probably know. Yeah. So I'm going to measure. Right, have the legs back. Right? You can also just measure this way, hand to foot, this measurement. And I lift up. And I want to lift my hips up with bent legs and take the buttocks up, right? So we're going to take the buttock bones up, just like we were doing. And how much, right? Can I tip the buttock bones up and straighten the legs and then get the head down? So the head going downward doesn't bend the arms. And at first I can be really light on the head. How much weight then can I take onto the head gradually? Okay, so you can go back to your chair if that is better. Like Mom, you could use your chair. You could just do your dog pose without the blanket if you can't sort this out right now. Okay, so our goal is to first work on the buttock bones like we were, and then see how much weight we can, how much weight is on the head. Okay, so you have your measurement, measure the distance between your hands and feet, and then raise up with bent legs, tip your buttock bones up, straighten your elbows, tip up with the buttock bones, and then lift and straighten your legs. See how far away the prop is from your head. Make any adjustments to the prop or to yourself so that the head is down, but not heavy at all. Right? Not heavy. And then how are you going to take a little more weight onto the head? Just gradually. You could gradually increase the weight on the head. And then once you've made your decisions about your pose right now, then hold still and take a deeper inhalation and exhalation. Use the calmness of the breath to maintain the pose. Calm breath in and calm breath out. Okay, and then put your knees down on the floor. If you can sit back on your feet, do that, and then just bend forward and put your head down. If you can't do that, just lie down on the floor and rest a second. Right, so either up, backwards with your hips on your heels or lie down flat. Okay, and then sit back up and come up. I don't know. I think that this is like a good sequence, a good set of poses and a way of working that I find is like, now I'm coping. Now I can cope with this crap, right, in the world. Like it just feels a little better, just for me, you know. Because if my mind is all whacked out, the poses are, I'm gonna feel it in my poses, you know. So let the physiology of the poses like change, you know, the inside parts too. The problem with our poses and our practice is not always that the legs are not good, or that, you know, should I be stronger or should I be whatever. There's all, you know, so many different layers to work with.
This also reminds me of the immunity sequence,
Sure.
BKS Iyengar's immunity sequence, with the concept of the head going below the heart to help with stress, to help with immunity.
Right. Yeah. I mean, because stress is just really horrible. It's so bad. You know, it's really, it's so hard to feel content and happy when you're real stressed out, and you know, you look for more physiology, right? More of the power of the poses and being down, and can I breathe deeper, right? Okay. Well, let's just remind ourselves a little bit about the buttock bones. Sit on the chair again, why not? I keep looking at my microphone. I like stupidly didn't plug it in during my break today. So if it goes out, you're on your own. Just kidding. All right, so go here. Okay, hold your chair. So we want to remind ourselves about the potency of the buttock bones. Right? So I hold the side of the chair. Either push down or pull up or push down. Right? You can try one of those and see which is better to feel the potency of the buttock bones, the real earthiness of them. Real earthiness, like nothing is unclear. Maybe some things are still unclear, but more unclear. Right? And then straighten your legs, one at a time or both. And then where are the buttock bones? Try not to lean back on your chair. Like the upper body is like a back bend. Right? Tighten your thighs so strong, really flex your heels more. Right? Flex your heels more. Like pull the toes back. Pull the balls of the feet backwards. So your shin is warm. Warm up your shin. This is your shin, right here, just so you know. Right, really flex your foot. Can you take your hand on your foot and just flex it? Okay, flex. Okay, pull your foot back. Okay, and now do that on both legs. So the knee is tight. Put your thighs down on the chair. Now, can you sit up on the buttock bones from there? Use your arms, raise up. Okay, then bend your legs and then relax. Okay, watch me. So now when I straighten my legs, I'm gonna keep my heels on the floor and the hips are down, thighs are down, but I don't feel the potency of the buttock bones the same way. It's more like, you know, watery. This is more like earthy, like this sort of feeling. But this is more muscles, right? Grip, grip, grip. Okay, ready? Okay, flex your heels. Really pull the ball of the foot back. You should feel a strengthening in the shins. They feel strong here. So a couple things happen. One is that as you push the heels and scrub them out, you have to scoot forward on the front of the chair. So that just the thighs press down on the chair. And you don't feel the buttock bones. They're a little lifted up. They might still be there, but they don't feel that same pointiness. Raise up your chest. Make your shin more hot. Chest up. Now go back to earthy buttock bones. Bend your legs. Earth butt. Earthy butt. Now slide forward and raise up, scrub out your heels, slide forward and be on the thighs. Rotate your shoulders back. Okay, rotate your shoulders back. Can you lift your arms? Raise up onto your thighs, raise your arms up, really tall. Raise up. Okay, and then lower your arms. Come back down. Come off the chair. Have a belt for your hand. Where's Kristen? Okay. So anybody is on her period can sit in Upavista Konasana. Look at my unitard, it's so funny. I think it's funny. It's hysterical. All right, so anybody who's on her period can sit like this in Upavista Konasana. Right? So those not on their period. We can explore the buttock bones in some boat poses. Right, so right now I'm on the front edge of my buttock bone, and then I'm more on the back edge. Right, front edge, back edge. Ready? Bend your legs and see where the buttock bones are. You can even lean forward a little bit like this. Pull them back, like we did on the chair. Pull them back, front edge of the buttock bones. And then rock back, you a little momentum. Rock back, tighten your knees and make your shin warm. Right? Really flex your heel, stretch your arms. So you're on the back edge of the buttock bone, but you have to really tighten your knee. Tighten, tighten, tighten. And tighten your thighs. You clap, hit your legs. Okay, bend your legs. Right, so the arm work is kind of similar to here. Arm into the shoulder. Right, so the arm has this real sense of direction forward and also simultaneously in. Ready? So bend your legs, front edge of the buttock bone, back edge of the buttock bone, tighten your knee, pull the balls of the feet back, reach through your fingers. Take the arm into the shoulder and raise your chest up. So you want to press through the back of the thighs. Okay, then lower your legs. Lower the legs down. Where's Kristen? Okay, hi. You can also do Baddha Konasana. Now you wish you had skeleton legs like this. Okay, everybody else take your belt. And put it across the balls of your feet like this. And try and catch your balance. You're on the back of the buttock bones. And catch your balance. So the arms are straight-ish, straight enough. Push your feet onto the belt. Raise your chest up and take the arms into the shoulders. And now how much do you have to let go of the belt, or stretch it, to straighten your legs? And lift up tall with your chest. Okay, so now you're on the back of the buttock bone. Take the arm into the shoulder and lift your breastbone higher. So back in, pull the back in away from the floor. Okay, and then bend your legs and watch me. So now we can work with this how much weight thing, right? How much weight was in the head? How much weight did we have down on the hands? Right, now I have so much weight. I'm really leaning the feet. If I let go of the belt, they just fall down. Right. That can be helpful to strengthen the upper back end. But then in order to take the legs closer to me, they can't be heavy like that. Right? Now the arm takes over. Right? The arm takes over a little more in order to get the legs up. Maybe you'll put your head on your shin. What do you think, Kristen? Do you want to do some Bharvajasana? Or you can keep sitting that way. You can put your back on the wall if you want. Your choice. Okay, so we're going to, everybody else do this pose with the feet on the belt. First, you have to catch your balance. So if you want to pause with bent legs to catch your balance, do that. And then gradually straighten your legs. Don't let the belt get too long, because a long belt, you know, an unnecessarily long belt will be, won't help your cause. Take your arms into the shoulders and let the feet be heavy, the legs be heavy on the belt. Okay, so you can use the weight of the legs to take the back in. Now keep the back away from your shirt. That's all the effort with the back. Right, back away from your shirt. As you bend your elbows, let the arms take over. Use a little more with the arms and see if you can kiss your shin. Right, so you're going to be more on the back side of the buttock bones. Are you doing it, Marcy? You are. Straighten your elbows, everybody. And then put your legs down. Okay. So be on the back side of the buttock bones. Right, really far back there. But keep don't let the back sink down. Stay up. And then go up, right, with some lightness. Try and go up. Think some light thoughts. Right? At the pinnacle of your pose, when you're like, oh, this is as far as I can go. I can't go anymore. There's no more room, or whatever it is. Right? Just think some happy, contentment. Right? Try one more time. So legs heavy at first. Pull your back in. Get the buttock bones organized. Raise up with an inhalation. Exhale, bend your elbows. So the arms work a little more, but the legs have to become lighter. The legs have to be lighter. And wherever you are at the pinnacle of your pose, inhale. Make the forearm lift up towards the ceiling. Right? Strongly up to create lightness. And then put your legs down. And then relax. So those on her period can take the leg out to the side this way with some support, perhaps under the outstretched leg. The rest of us are going to work on some Supta Padangusthasana 1 with slight twist at first. Right, so I twist just a little bit. Here's our twist finally. Right? So we take the leg a little across, keeps the hip on the floor. Okay, lie down on your back. Lie down on your back. Take the right leg up. Go up to the first position. Right? Leg straight up. Tighten your right thigh. Press your foot onto the belt. So at first, this same approach, lean your leg onto the belt so that the arm stretches. You can't have the leg too close to your body to do that. Let the weight of the leg be on the belt. The weight of the leg. Let it lean. The foot, another way you think of it, the foot. Press your foot away from you and lean your leg. You might not even be able to have the leg straight up 90 degrees. It might have to be slightly off that. So that the arms feel the length. Right? The arms feel the length. The weight of the leg on the belt. That's better, Rhonda. Right? But you can probably do more. This will be better for your SI joint too. Press your left thigh down. Lean the right leg onto the belt so your arms are straightening. Go down with your abdomen. Left leg strong. Right, now hold the belt in your left hand. Is that right? Yeah. Now keep the back of the hip on the floor and lean your right leg across your body. And keep the right hip on the floor. Don't lift it up. You have to restrain the weight of the leg. Let the leg be heavy. Simultaneously hold it up. Like, don't go too far with it. Rotate your left leg in more. Rotate it in. That will create the resistance for the right leg. So can you support the leg, but let more weight come in it so that your arm is stretched? Right, then bring your leg back up. Put your right leg down. And switch legs. Pick your left leg up. Straighten your leg. Same approach, lean your leg so that the arm stretches. Right, weight of the leg into the belt. Push it. There is more surrender in this approach. Right, let the leg surrender. Don't overdo. And then the belt is in the right hand. Keep the weight of the leg into the belt as you take the leg over. Just a little bit over, cross over. The right leg will be your brake. Turn it in so that the left leg doesn't go over too much. Really rotate the right leg in. Right, then come back up with your leg. Put your leg down. Going okay, Kristen? Thumbs up. Okay, then you can sit up. I think, just surrendering, being surrendered doesn't mean that you can't go deeper. Right? It doesn't mean you can't go deeper into the pose. What's interesting about the yoga philosophy to me is this idea of restraint, being a little restrained. And actually, I think what's happening with me is when I try to be lighter, I'm restraining myself. It depends on you, probably. I'm somebody who always wants to just make everything heavier, right? Press harder, do more, write harder, type harder. Everything has to be harder, scrub harder, right? So then for my self-study is to go against that tendency and be a little lighter and talk like this instead. But then can I be restrained and go way in, like go into the unknown place? Like go into the unknown place with like a new self. Right? So we can twist more. So I take my leg up, right? Going here, not allowing the leg to go all the way, right? Keeping the hip down, teaches me how to restrain with the down leg, restrain the whole pose. So that as I go all the way over, right, the down leg is my brake. The top leg it's just along for the ride. It's gonna take the hip around. And then I can sort out what's going on with those two buttock bones that I looked at on the chair. Right, and really twist into it. Take this hip up. Right, can I put weight? I'm pushing my weight of the foot on the belt and pulling backwards with the arm, right, to get this hip up. But the weight of the leg goes down. You keep going. Okay. Raise your leg up. Right leg. So work with the weight of the leg. Start with the weight of the leg heavy into the belt, so that you have some surrender, right? It feels like more surrender, doesn't it, when the weight is there? You notice it. Like Kristen can surrender the leg sideways. Everyone else who has the leg straight up, the foot surrender onto the belt. Go to that intermediate twist, take the leg over, restrain it with the left leg. Put more emphasis on the left leg than the right leg. As you take the leg across, you might have to reach up the belt. That might be helpful, right? So reach up. And then how are you going to coordinate the left arm and right leg to go over? Take the leg over more and more and more. So you feel the right hip going with the right leg. Turn the left leg in. Let the right leg surrender down without a flop. The left leg is your support. Rotate the right chest away from the left leg. And you sort out and make more potent the buttock bones, the two buttock bones that were on the chair. Inhale a big horizontal breath across the chest. Exhale and work with the arms and legs more. Right, and then raise your leg back up. Put your leg down. And switch sides. Raise the left leg up. The belt in your foot. On your foot in the belt. Or surrender the leg into the belt. Weight, let it be heavy. Lean. Lean onto the foot, onto the belt. So the arms feel the stretch. If your leg is close, is angling towards you, it's not going to work. Right? Lean the leg away from you, just slightly off the 90-degree mark. So the arms are stretching. You want the leg to be heavier. Right, then hold the belt in your right hand. What about the brake on your right leg? Turn that on. Rotate your right leg in. So the right leg is going to create the restraint for yourself, so you can be lighter. So you have to be very strong in the right leg. Cross over to that intermediate twist. And so strong on the right leg. As you go further, twist more with some confidence. Keep the right leg rolling in. Feel the left hip go towards the foot. Turn your chest away from the left leg. Work with the right arm and leg. So that the leg can come lower. Right? You could pull down with the arm. Pull down on the arm, push up with the foot. See if that deepens the twist. Inhale a big horizontal breath across the chest. Big inhalation. Come back up. Bring down. Lower your leg. Okay, turn to your side and come up. Ooh, let's see. I have to think for a second. Me thinking. So I want to do some shoulder stand work. I think I'm going to do it in stages because we have so many different levels. So many different levels in our group. Let's do this. Take a couple blankets, like 3, stack them up, making the base smooth. Stack up, make smooth your blankets. And then you have a block that you're going to upend, possibly, to support your hip. This anatomy on my unitard is not good. There, that's better. All right, so this blanket, right, is for my shoulders. I'm gonna just describe it because there's, I think, some people who might need it. I'm not sure. So you watch me, okay? So we're going to do the bridge pose with some support under the hip, using the blankets for the shoulders. So that when I lie down, my neck is on the edge, and I want to soften my throat. And then I lift my hips and upend the block. You could have a lower block if it's better. The reason the block is great is because I can support my pelvis. The sense of direction with the hips is downward onto the block, right? This way is not, that's not it, right? So the sense of direction is down with the hips on the block. And then I have this, again, working with lightness, right? So the shoulders are not heavy. I can tuck them under. And then keeping the shoulders tucked under, take a big breath into your skeleton, into your costume. Inhale, okay, but keep the hips down. All right, so you have some height for your shoulders. You have that, Mom? You have blankets there? Shoulders down on the blanket stack. Something like a block or even a bolster that's higher than the blankets might work. Something that is going to make your hips raise up. When you put the block down, you may have to bunch up the blanket or move it a little bit so it's not going to be tippy on top of the blanket. If you're a short-waisted, short person, shorter, you might be able to put the block right on top of the blanket and it's okay. So have the hips up, but sense of direction down. Let the hips rest down. Don't keep lifting them up off the block. Rest down so that the abdomen feels in. The organs of the pelvis feel in. Let weight come on the hip, but notice, oh, well, if my hips are supported, I feel lighter on the shoulders. I can be very precise. Right? So be precise about the rotation of the shoulders down onto the blanket. It's the benefit of using the prop. Rhonda, is this okay for your SI joint?
No, I have to go down.
Okay. If it was, it looked okay, but it depends on how it feels.
Yeah, it didn't feel good, so I just went down one.
Okay, good. Okay, so sense of direction down with the hips, tuck under with the shoulders so that, you don't have weight on the shoulders, you can tuck under. But then press down with your shoulders, so increase the weight on the shoulders while simultaneously increase inflate the ribs with an inhalation. So open the front chest while pressing the arms down. Use the pressure of the shoulders down, arms down to open the chest. So back ribs coming in, and allow an expansion on the front chest. Really maximize the expansion with a fuller inhalation all the way up to the collarbones, even the tight ribs at the top. Relax your throat. So you can intertwine your fingers, see if that helps to maximize the coiling of the chest and strengthening action of the upper arm into the shoulder. Right? Maximize the strengthening of the upper arm into the shoulder. Pacify your throat. Hips down. Okay, now listen. Bend your right knee up towards the ceiling. Okay, so just the knee is up. When you lifted your thigh bone up, right, your knee up, did the upper back sink down? Okay, open the front chest so the spine comes in. Really fine tune that. Okay, so the right knee, make it up towards the ceiling while opening the chest. Okay, open the chest. Keep the sense of direction with the hips down and straighten your leg up towards the ceiling. And when you lifted your leg, did the spine go down? Keep the upper back moving in. So now you can't lean the weight of the leg away from you. Instead, find the position where the leg is upright and the leg can rest up. Bend your right leg, put your foot on the floor. Readjust your arms. If you want to let go of that finger entwining, that's fine. Or maybe entwine them the other way. So be very sensitive with, how much weight is on both shoulders. Is the upper spine that's way up by the neck, is that pressing hard onto the blanket? Lighten that area, but near the neck bone, by pressing the outer shoulders down more. And then open the front chest even better with a bigger breath in. Relax your face. Now lift the left knee. Raise your left knee. Hips down, right? Go down with the hips and then straighten your left leg and see if the spine fell down. Just the positioning of the leg in the hip over the prop so that it is lifted with less effort. Then bend your leg, put your feet down, and lower your block. So lift up your hips. Okay, so anybody who is going to next work on shoulder stand will proceed from here. Those who would like to put their legs up the wall can do that. those on her period could do Supta Baddha Konasana or some other quiet reclining pose. If you feel like, oh no, I need to do a forward bend, do that instead. Right? So you can either on your period do Supta Baddha Konasana, or if you'd prefer to do a forward bend with head support, you can do that. So do you know your choice? Legs up the wall, over to plow pose and then Sarvangasana, or Supta Baddha Konasana for periods. Okay, so go over to Halasana, those doing shoulder stand, go over to Halasana. Rhonda, do you have a chair you could put under your feet? Do you have one nearby? Rhonda, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, do you have a chair you could put under your feet?
I do. Yeah.
I bet it would be helpful for your SI joint.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
It'll make a little more height, so you don't get more twisted. Karen, do you know what you're doing?
I'm gonna do the feet up the wall, but I was just watching to see.
Oh, you want to watch them? That's fine. Karen's watching you guys do a really good halasana. Okay, so the plow pose group. Press your feet down. This is the instruction for the plow pose group. Press down with your feet, knees tight, thighs tight. Recall the effort of the thighs in the standing poses. Press your hands on your back to support the back ribs. And then recall the work with the buttock bones that we did, right? Raise the buttock bones up. The work what we did in the dog pose with the buttock bones. The work we did on the chair. And so make the buttock bones more earthy up. Go up with the buttock bones. They're a little sharpened up. But at the same time, as they sharpen up, take them a little towards the heels too. And strengthen the legs together as one unit so that the tailbone itself feels stronger. And the tailbone comes in and lifts up. So you have to make the hips lighter. Outer hips wrap up. Work with the legs in such a way that the lightness comes in the throat. The lightness comes in the spine near the neck. Like you did with the hips on the block previously. Those with the legs up the wall, press your thighs towards the wall. And as you press your thighs towards the wall, stretch your arms over your head, backwards towards the floor with an inhalation. Halasana group. Raise either both legs up or one at a time to come to Sarvangasana. Take the buttock bone strong into the back thighs. Strengthen the back thighs and press the legs backwards. So the weight of the pose is less on your head, less on your throat. Not by being heavy with the tailbone back or drooping the tailbone back. Bring the tailbone in, the buttock bone strong into the back thighs. Raise up with your legs. So don't use your arms like scaffolding, right? Like leaning on them. Try and be a little independent of the arms. So shoulder stand group, stay there. And then legs up the wall group. Bring your arms down and make your legs wider. Take the shoulder stand group. Without sticking the tailbone out, take your legs back more. Right? Lean the weight of the legs back, the thighs back. With the knees tight, then you could take the feet back. Take your thighs back and take the buttock bones strong into the back thighs. Right? Strong into the back thighs. And then, Kristen, you can stay there or do leg positions if you like. Those who would like to come down back to Halasana and even come down out of the pose, they can. Those who want to keep going, from there, keep working the shoulder stand group, take the tailbone in and lean the legs back. Legs up the wall group, take your arms over your head and feel the abdomen in, either with straight elbows or bent arms. Shoulder stand, tailbone in, buttocks in, lean your thighs way back towards the wall. Lean back more, go back, 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 back. Keep going like you're gonna drop over. Keep going like you're gonna drop over. Open your chest. Don't lean so much onto your hands and then just drop over. Right? Lean back like you're gonna drop over. Lean back, don't be heavy on the hands and then just drop over. Now stay there with the feet down and raise your chest so that the hands are less heavy, but press your hands on your back. And then either straighten your arms and come down or jump back up right from there. Right, legs up the wall group. You can do Baddha Konasana. So, Mom, are your legs up the wall?
They were, but I
Okay,
came
do it
down.
again.
Actually, I did both. I did the up the wall and the head. And
Okay,
the
do it again. Lie back down. All right, shoulder stand group. You want to do drop over again? Ready? Who's doing it still? Anybody? A couple people. All right. Weight your thighs back. Drop over. Catch with the tailbone. Buttocks in. Buttock bones in. As soon as the feet are down, press your hands without leaning on them. And then either jump up or roll over to Halasana. Third time? Do you have a third one you can drop over? You gonna do it again, Katrina? Aaron's gonna do it again. We're gonna do it again. Jenny's not gonna do it again. Okay, finish up what you're doing. If you're gonna drop over or whatever, do it again. If you're at the wall, bend your legs. If you're on a chair, slide down. If your head's on a chair, sit up. Okay, so now you want to move, turn to your side, come up, sit up, wrap it up, be done. Move your props and then just lie down for Shavasana. Your back is like, you know, your SI joint is not that great. You could put your legs on the chair.
Okay.
Yeah, or just, you know, maybe you want to just lie flat. Just to see how you feel. Sometimes I like to lie flat. It makes my SI joint better. But some days it's like, no, I would rather put my legs on a chair. Lie down for a little bit. Surrender completely. Let go. Exhale. We're all here with you. Our group. We're all here together. You can be supported by that idea that we're all together. Exhale more completely. And let go. And feel the weight of your whole body, most of your body, on the floor. And quietly bend your arms and your legs. Turn to your side. And without a big rush, sit up and sit so you can lift your chest. Raise up really tall and put your palms together. We're going to say our Om together now. With your hands together, close your eyes. Can I mute everybody? I'm going to mute everybody. Okay. Raise up your chest with a big breath in. And when you hear me start to say the Om, then you can join me. I won't be able to hear you. So you join me. Lift up your chest. Bow your head. Exhale. Put your palms down. Lift up your head. And then gradually reopen your eyes.